WWE has been turned inside out and upside down because of the WWE Draft on the first episode of Smackdown Live. Who went where, who got called up from NXT, and due to the controversial finish from Raw, a rematch for the WWE Championship took place. Get ready, guys and gals, because it's time for WGS-TV reviews, Smackdown Live, and the WWE Draft. Hey, YouTube, are you ready for your hot tag? Because if you are, it's definitely time to work.
What's up, boys and girls? This is Lance Way, and you are watching WGS-TV.
Greetings, YouTube. I've worked your way back into another episode of WGS-TV right here on YouTube.com/WrestleGamer. I am your friendly neighborhood Russell Gamer, and joining me on this video, guys and gals, let me first introduce him. First, he's our resident music mogul over on YouTube.com/LanceMossTV. He is the incomparable Lance Moss. Lance, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Let's have some fun with this.
He's a paranormal investigator and known as the SOB on Hardcore Wrestling Radio. Ladies and gentlemen, Andy is here. Andy, how you doing?
Hello, everybody. Pleased to be a part of the team, and I hope you'll enjoy our reviews this coming day, evening, night, whatever.
Well, he's sweating over in the UK right now, guys and gals. And James from the Big Easy is here. James, how you doing?
Question is, how do you feel about the new announced teams for both Raw and SmackDown?
Well, it was finally here, ladies and gentlemen. It was finally time for the WWE Draft, a much-needed change in WWE's product. I really enjoyed having the commentary team of Mauro Ranallo, Byron Saxton, Jerry the King Lawler, and Michael Cole out there, because basically, for me, it gave Ranallo a chance to show everybody why he's a much better commentator than Cole. So thank you, WWE, for that. So with that being said, let's talk about SmackDown Live and the WWE Draft. This was the night that would change the entire landscape of WWE, something that WWE has been needing to reinvigorate their product again. The draft would kick off the show with Seth Rollins being selected to Raw as the #1 draft pick, with Dean Ambrose being SmackDown's first pick. The current women's champion Charlotte would be Raw's next selection, with the phenomenal AJ Styles going to SmackDown, and the final pick for Raw, Lance, would go to Finn Balor. What are your thoughts on the opening round of that draft pick?
Okay, first, it's great to see Finn finally come up, and James can vouch for me on this one. That, in a call with him and the Bay Area MVP known as Will, I called the first pick for each brand. Did I not? I said Raw was getting Rollins, and Ambrose was going to SmackDown.
Yeah, he did call it. Mm-hmm.
Andy, one could argue that Rollins and Ambrose are the top two guys in the company right now. So would you say it was kind of expected that the top two guys in the company would be the first picks for the Raw and SmackDown brands relatively?
Yeah, obviously. It was just written in stone that they're going to have the two top guys at the moment separated. The only problem I've got with Finn Balor, and I'm a massive Finn Balor fan, he's been posting all over the internet, and even I think it was the commentary team on the network said that Finn Balor's quite happy to stay at NXT. I still don't think he's ready for a push. I think it's recipe for disaster. That's my personal opinion. I don't think he's got it yet to be a Raw or SmackDown superstar.
Well, I think only time can tell as to whether or not that they can actually properly use Finn Balor on the main roster. The opening match was John Cena with Enzo Amore and Big Cass in his corner, taking on Luke Gallows with the club in his corner, and for what it was okay. Kind of restored the team dynamic that kind of took a blow from Raw, which was something I discussed on the Raw review this week. The finish of this match was Cena hitting the attitude adjustment on Luke Gallows to pick up the win. So, James, for what this was, it kind of served its purpose.
It really did. I mean, the thing really about this is the only weird thing I hate about the match was that little ending part between like the club and Enzo and Cass. It did serve its purpose to hype up the match for Battleground, the 6-man tag team match.
The next round of selections came in as Roman Reigns, to a chorus of boos from the crowd, was up first as he was selected for Raw, with John Cena expectantly going to SmackDown. Raw would counter with the IWC's favorite part-time superhero with with the Viper, Randy Orton, being drafted to SmackDown, is that kind of obvious my hatred for Brock Lesnar?
Yeah.
As Raw's final pick in this round went to the New Day, so right there, Andy, they're not splitting up the New Day.
No, much to my dismay, because I don't know whether it's just an American thing, but I've been talking to some of my British friends who are wrestling enthusiasts, and they all have got the same opinion as me, that they're not even funny. It's probably one of those transfer things that American sense of humour doesn't come over the water well with English people. It's just, for me, it's just a joke segment, and I refuse to watch them three jack-offs.
Now, with John Cena going to SmackDown, it was almost halfway expected because he has so many prior commitments outside of WWE. He's not exactly on a full-time schedule. So, Lance, my question to you is, John Cena was expected to go to SmackDown, but how does a part-time drug user like Bork Laser get a spot on Monday Night Raw?
How does Roman Reigns?
Well, let's say two drug users then.
You just answered my question. Vince likes them both. Well, I hear you're kind of pissed off at Roman at the moment, but...
But I also heard another story that Lesnar has not only failed one, but 2 drug tests now.
That's what the reports has been, but as I say, they're still looking into it right now.
A special champions versus challengers tag team match was up next as the Intercontinental Champion movie quote Miz would team up with the United States Champion Rusev to take on their challengers for Battleground in the form of Darren Young and Zack Ryder. I actually thought this was a good match, in my personal opinion, as Bob Backlund and Darren Young have reintroduced the cross-face chicken wing to the WWE Universe, as Young locked that on movie quote Miz to pick up the win for his team, which traditional wrestling logic would dictate that since Young went over in this match, Andy, that chances are at the pay-per-view Young will not be winning the Intercontinental Championship.
Oh no, there's just no way in a cat and hell's chance that they can give it Darren Young. Absolutely no chance.
However, WWE has thrown traditional wrestling logic out the window before, so I wouldn't be shocked if they did it again, Lance.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it just depends on who. If they're like, oh, we screwed up, we want this belt. No, we want this belt. Because I'm pretty sure Miz is on
SmackDown. Rusev is on Raw.
Yeah, and
however, their challengers are all on a separate brand.
Yeah.
Yep, well, level 21 Pokemon Go Master from Team Valor, Xavier Woods, would take on the guy that creeps him out apparently in the Eater of Worlds, Bray Wyatt. How they opened the match still kind of has me scratching my head. For the first few minutes, it looked like Wyatt was attempting to put Woods in some sort of trance. Which Pokemon had that ability to put people in trances? I don't even... I'm sorry? Hypnos. My brother just told me.
Hypnos, yeah.
Yeah, I still don't get where they're going with this with Xavier Woods. Have I mentioned before how much I enjoy Mauro Ranallo on commentary, basically outshining Michael Cole? Listening to his commentary, Lance, during this match actually kept my interest going.
Yeah, I mean, no, you haven't. It's just hard to believe you don't like Cole. I couldn't figure that out.
The finish of the match was Bray Wyatt hitting the Sister Abigail on Xavier Woods to pick up the win. Now, Kevin Owens was scheduled to have a match with the Demon Kane when once again, Sami Zayn would come out to confront his former friend on the ramp. Owens quickly got the better of Zayn and threw him into Kane. Kane goozled him, and then the prize fighter and a double chokeslam would take place. Then, oddly enough, we would get the next round in the draft. Despite being chokeslammed by Kane, Sami Zayn would be Raw's first pick in this round as the Eater of Worlds, Bray Wyatt alone, would go to SmackDown. James, what was your reaction to that? Bray Wyatt being selected alone and not the Wyatt family going to SmackDown?
Well, if you look at the list of draft people on WWE.com when they announced the rules, they never put the Wyatt family together. So that is the reason why the Wyatt family wasn't. It's basically they're picking like Bray Wyatt by himself because he wasn't officially a. His team, the Wyatt family wasn't a one pick. It was they all are separated. So it kind of is confusing, but that's how it goes.
To coin a phrase from The Rock, finally, Vince is listening to the fans and the Wyatts are not getting over.
Raw's next selection would be the Boss, Sasha Banks, with SmackDown's next pick going to the Irish last kicker, Becky Lynch, and Raw's final selection in this round would go to the first ever undisputed WWE Champion, Chris Jericho. So one could say, Lance, that this round of the draft was kind of uneventful.
Very true. I mean, later on, if we cover the off SmackDown stuff, I have something to say about the member of the Wyatt family that picked. I have a personal opinion about that, but yeah, it really wasn't that eventful.
You don't want to drink it in, man.
The Boss Sasha Banks would be in a handicap match next against Charlotte and Dana Brooke. This one wouldn't last very long, as Charlotte would hit natural selection on the Boss to pick up the win, and the only thing I'm still left wondering about in this match, James, is who will be Sasha Banks' partner at Battleground.
That's a $1 million question, really, is that who did Sasha Banks would pick as a partner? Everybody thinks one person, but I myself think it's going to be someone from the main roster. It could be someone like Paige, or it could even be the return of Nikki if she's 100%. So there's got to be nobody in NXT, I believe.
The next selections in the draft would reveal where both WWE secondary titles at this time would go, and that's the Intercontinental Championship and the United States Championship, if those of you who are watching this have no clue as to what I'm talking about. Raw's first selection in this round was Rusev and Lana, which brings the United States Championship at this time to Raw, with SmackDown selecting movie quote Miz and Maurice, which brings the Intercontinental Championship to SmackDown.
Remember, Daniel Bryan hated to do it, but he had to.
Yep, Raw's next selection was the prizefighter Kevin Owens, with the winner of the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Yes, even I'm putting him over in this video. Baron Corbin being SmackDown's next pick, and Raw's final selection in this round would be Enzo Amore and Big Cass. Andy, your thoughts on this round?
Nothing special at all. It was that gimmick that they've got, the old time musical type gimmick. It doesn't wash with me at all. It's just pathetic.
That's the Vaudevillains.
Oh, sorry, I'm getting mixed up. This is the This is
the certified G.
And the bonus stud.
This is the jerk off bloke that's trying to imitate TNA's English guy, who I can't think now for the life of me.
Spud, I mean.
Spud, yeah. The jerk off who's
Spud.
trying to be Rockstar Spud. I wish somebody'd stick a bullet through his forehead and let that 7-inch giant go alone.
Well, talking about something special, that's what the next match would be, because it featured the Swiss Superman Cesaro taking on Chris Jericho. These guys have had some great matches before, and this one honestly did not disappoint in my opinion. Cesaro is such an underutilized talent in WWE, but that is something I've said many times here on WGS-TV. The finish of the match would be Chris Jericho hitting the Codebreaker on Cesaro to pick up the win, and Lance, like I've said, these guys have had some great matches, and this one was just that. It was a great match.
Yeah, I mean, the reason he hasn't got over, or the reason he has not got the push he deserves, according to Vince McMahon, he just doesn't have it. I think that's bullshit, but, well, it's Vince McMahon.
He's been treated the same way, in my opinion, that William Regal was. William Regal always deserved a better push than he got, but at least he still got a job, so it's one good thing.
Next round of the draft would kick off with Raw selecting Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, which now means the club will be no more after Battleground, with SmackDown selecting one of my favorite tag teams from NXT, James, Jason Jordan and Chad Gable, American Alpha. What was your reaction to that?
You know, for me with Alpha, originally when they first, came together, I'm like, I don't think they would go over. But then once they got better and like the crowd got behind them, and this was a good pick because, as Daniel Bryan said, it was the land of opportunity. So let's give them the opportunity on SmackDown.
And honestly, I'm a big fan of American Alpha. They really shot up into the stratosphere in NXT, and I'm hoping WWE uses them properly on the main roster. Raw's next pick in the draft is The Big Show, and yes, I'm shocked he's still around in WWE, with SmackDown's next pick going to the show-off Dolph Ziggler. When Raw's final pick this round would go to Nia Jax from NXT, which at this point left us with 3 picks left to go from NXT. Now, Andy, I know that you've never really been high on some of the guys coming up from NXT, so what were your thoughts on these 2 selections coming up from NXT, American Alpha and Nia Jax?
Nia Jax, I can agree with the other 2 inexperienced for my liking. I mean, I've just started to watch NXT now, and to be perfectly honest, I'll go with what I was saying on the other chat room that I was in the other night. They talked the WWE way, and to be honest, they're just clones, they're robots, so it doesn't matter who they're going to bring in from NXT. They're all going to perform and act exactly the same. None of them, only the ones that are already selected, not the selection that we're talking about now. None of them have got their own personality. they're all a WWE personality given to them.
The final televised round of the draft would kick off with Raw selecting the man that gravity forgot, Neville, with SmackDown's opening pick going to Natalya. Yeah, that's really an exciting pick right there. Raw would follow up their next selection with the Swiss Superman Cesaro, as SmackDown's next pick went to Alberto Del Rio, and Raw's final televised pick in the draft went to the Celtic Warrior Sheamus. Lance, not much to talk about on this final televised round of the draft, wouldn't you say?
Fella, this was boring. At least this round was boring.
Do you know what scares me about the whole draft?
What's that?
When you sit down and look at the people that are in SmackDown and Raw, most of the people who were feuding are separated from people they were feuding with, and I don't think that's a good move.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you on that one, because think about it. Well, AJ Styles and John Cena are in the same brand, so then they're not really splitting that one up, but Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, two members of the Wyatt family, and the New Day being on Raw, so yeah, it's definitely something to talk about. Back-to-back nights with Dean Ambrose defending the WWE Championship against Seth Rollins. I approve. Now, was this match as good as the one from Raw the previous night? Well, it's debatable. I'll tell you what though, Mauro Ranallo has the ability to make you feel the excitement of a match with this commentary, and he did just that during this match. It's one of the reasons why I like the guy so much. Now, would we see another controversial finish like the double pin from Raw, or would it be a clean finish? And it was actually a clean finish, much to my surprise, as Dean Ambrose hit Dirty Deeds on Rollins to pick up the win and retain the WWE Championship. But there's still one thing to go, Lance. That's Battleground this Sunday.
Yes, it is. And I highly doubt, and I stretch highly doubt, the guy who is highly doubted, Mr. Roman Reigns. I highly doubt he's winning.
Putting a lot of emphasis on highly.
I highly don't know what you're talking about.
Well, no, at this point, SmackDown went off the air, but there's still much to talk about with the draft continuing on the WWE Network. So let's go ahead and get this round started. Raw's opening pick this round went to the Golden Truth, as SmackDown will pick up the former two-time tag team champions in the Usos. Raw's next pick went to the real deal, Titus O'Neil, as he calls himself, with SmackDown's next pick went to the Demon King. Why, I don't know. And Raw's final pick in this round went to Paige. James, I have a question for you. With Paige being selected on the draft that started on the network as the last pick in that round, does that say anything to you about Paige's current standings in WWE?
Kinda, sorta, but at the same time, it's like you have only two. The two biggest divas right now would be Sasha Banks and Charlotte. So basically, Paige is now not like the third. And also, if you also think about this, Alberto Del Rio is separated from his girlfriend.
Well, yeah, you got a point there. The next round of the draft would commence with Raw selecting Darren Young along with Bob Backlund, with SmackDown's first pick this round going to the former two-time United States champion Kalisto. Raw's next selection would go to Sin Cara, thus officially confirming the end of the Lucha Dragons. Something I talked about on the Raw review this week. With SmackDown selecting Naomi, yeah, I completely forgot about her, and honestly, I think everyone has.
Everybody forgot about her because she got injured right after Mania, so you didn't see her much.
Raw's final pick this round would go to the Real American Jack Swagger, with SmackDown's final pick this round going to the former NXT Tag Team Champions, The Ascension. So maybe now, Lance, they can finally use them properly, but I'm not getting my hopes up.
No, I highly doubt it, because once they buried you this long and basically turned you from a dominant tag team in NXT to, as we say on HWR, the LOD crack babies, it's going to take an act of Congress to get them back in dominant form.
Andy, any thoughts on this round of the draft?
The only thing I can pick up on is what James was saying, and you were saying, just they've split up Paige and Alberto Del Rio, and they are a genuine couple in real life, and we know what happens when that happens. Their relationship goes down the toilet. So I think they could end up losing one or both of the superstars from wrestling.
The next round of the draft would kick off with Raw selecting the tables. Excuse me, I mean the Dudley Boys, with SmackDown selecting Zack Ryder as their first pick. Raw's next pick would be what I thought of at the time the worst selection of the entire draft in some array. I'll explain what I mean when we get to the final round of the draft, with SmackDown selecting Apollo Crews as their next pick. Raw's final pick for this round would go to Mark Henry, and I'll repeat what I said on the Facebook page last night, Andy. Why? With SmackDown's final pick going to Alexa Bliss. That's the only thing I could say about Mark Henry is why.
I'm just more shocked that Mark Henry's Mark Henry should be in NXT training people, in my opinion. Now, I'd be more worried that they actually pick Mark Henry in a pick. the guy's got nothing else. He's got nothing to prove. He's done it all. He's got nothing to offer. He's too old. His in-ring skills suck now because of his age and his weight. And I nearly fell off my chair when they named him in the list. I'm thinking, really?
James, like I said, I'm still staggered, because for one thing, Big Show has now been selected, and now Mark Henry. How are these guys still employed by WWE right now?
I don't know. That's what I have the question of. How are they still? Why are they still employed? You've been long, so let's say that. But I'm still kind of confused. But a pick I want to really talk about is Alexa Bliss. Because with Alexa Bliss, I think it's too early for her to get called up. Because if you lost Nia Jax, I would have thought that Alexa Bliss would have been your top heel diva in NXT.
Yeah, and it's definitely something to talk about. But anyway, the next round of the draft would start with Raw's first pick going to the greenback of the Wyatt family and Braun Strowman. As SmackDown's first pick went to Breezango. Why, I don't know. Apparently Raw wants everyone to believe again, James, as Bo Dallas by himself.
Here's the worst pick of them all. What you're about to say is the worst pick of them all.
Yep, ladies and gentlemen, as SmackDown made what James just said, the worst selection of the entire freaking draft in the plastic Barbie doll who can't still a move or run the ropes to save her damn life in Eva Marie. I really can't express the hatred I have for Eva Marie any more than that. My only question is, I wonder who she's doing backstage that's keeping her employed in the WWE. I really would like to know, because there's still no freaking way she's there based on her own talent. A thumbs down from me on this one, WWE.
Somebody's got a thumb up.
There's something up.
Raw would then select the Shining Stars, Epico and Primo as their next pick. They really haven't done much for those two guys except promos and vignettes. With SmackDown selecting the former NXT Tag Team Champions, the Vaudevillains. These are the music guys, Andy. Simon Gotch and Aiden English as their final pick for this round. So, Andy, I'm going to go to you with your reactions to this round.
The gimmick doesn't work. They're two fine wrestlers, but the gimmick makes them look like Santinos, so you can't take nothing they do serious. So I'm never ever going to see them as serious contenders for nothing.
Could you put the Shining Stars, Epico and Primo in that same boat as the Vaudevillains?
Yes, I would assume so.
Lance, how does Eva Marie still have a job?
Well, it's not who you know, it's who you blow, apparently.
I have an answer to that. If she gets hit with this armor every week by Becky Lynch, it's a good thing.
It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing, as DDP would say.
As long as she doesn't win any of her matches.
Raw's first pick of the final round would go to Alicia Fox, another afterthought in my personal opinion. With SmackDown's
I didn't know Alicia Fox was still even in WWE.
Apparently.
Yeah, that's why I classified her as an afterthought. With SmackDown's first pick going to Eric Rollins, so 2/3 of the Wyatt family are on SmackDown, which makes me wonder if WWE is going to put Luke Harper on SmackDown so the original Wyatt family stable will be on there. That's something to consider, guys.
Yeah.
Raw's next selection went to Dana Brooke. Who cares, honestly? With SmackDown selecting Mojo Rawley from NXT as our next pick, which now, James, I wonder if that means we're going to see the Hype Bros. That's the team of Mojo and Zack Ryder, for those of you who don't follow the best brand in WWE and NXT on SmackDown. So what do you think about that, James? What are the chances of seeing the Hype Bros back together on SmackDown?
I could see it, but it has to be after they try to do this push with Zack Ryder, this single push. Because if you just do normal, then I won't see it. If you try to do it right now, I wouldn't see it. I mean, try to slowly bring them back together, I would say.
Raw's final pick of the entire draft would go to Curtis Axel of the Social Outcast for some reason, with SmackDown's final pick went to Carmella from NXT, which kind of depressed me a little bit. Let me explain. A lot of people, including yours truly, wanted to see her back with Enzo and Cass, but now they're both on different shows, so in a way, WWE Creative kind of stuck it to us on that one. And speaking of... Well, go ahead.
Well, if you watched, I think WWE 24, with the NXT, when they originally called Big Enzo and Cass, Triple H said, hey, we gonna leave Carmella in NXT. We wanted to see how she does on her own. So basically, this is a test on her own of if she could be able to be good on the main roster by herself. If she doesn't, then there's the possibility she gets traded to Raw to be with her boys.
Andy, get this. They would close out the entire draft program on the network with Heath Slater waiting for his draft selection all by himself in a room when the lights go out on him. I wonder if there's a certain symbolism for that.
I think that's the same sort of thing. I was watching a YouTube video with Ahmed Johnson, and I think he's going down the same route. Ahmed Johnson, apparently, his last couple of days in the WWE played a skit where he got fired. The following day, his notice was in the post. And I think they're trying to tell this guy exactly the same. Nobody cares about you, mate.
Did anybody notice the huge shiner he had on the right side of his face?
Yeah.
He got the shiner on a live event.
Yeah, I wonder how that happened, but it looked really, really nasty.
I forgot who they said injured him, though. I think they said Titus O'Neil. It was Titus.
He asked Stephanie for the pay rise. He asked Stephanie for the pay rise, and that was the result.
Well, I'm going to issue 2 scores on this video. One for SmackDown Live, and the other on the WWE Draft. First, SmackDown. I really enjoyed listening to Mauro Ranallo basically outshine Michael Cole on commentary. If some of the matches were done by Michael Cole solely being the play-by-play guy, they would have sucked, but listening to Mauro Ranallo on commentary made them better. My overall score on the first SmackDown Live gets a 4 out of 5, with Best Match of the Night going to, once again, Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, with the worst match of the night going to the handicap match with Charlotte and Dana Brooke. Now, let me actually emphasize why I have selected that. Because the reason why I selected Charlotte and Dana Brooke taking on Sasha Banks is due to the actual lack of interest in this match. The only real thing that was interesting about that storyline was who's going to be Sasha Banks' partner in Battleground. Lance, I'm going to go to you first. Your overall score and your picks for best and worst match or segment of SmackDown Live first.
Overall, decent show. Definitely, it was better than a lot of Raws I've seen. So, 3 or 4 out of 5. And best match got to be Ambrose and Rollins. Worst, yeah, the pretty much most of the matches, because you could tell it was not, their matches were not the main focus of the show.
Andy, over to you. What's your overall score and your picks for best and worst match or segment of just SmackDown Live right now?
For me, SmackDown Live, I'll give it 4 out of 5, which is quite a high score for me, because I don't normally watch SmackDown, and the reason why I'll give it 4 out of 5, I did not channel hop during the 2-hour show in the UK, which is unusual for me, so for me to stay watching it, it's got to be worth a 4 out of 5. Best segment in the show, I've got to agree with Lance, has got to be Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, whatever. But Dean Ambrose deserves to be the champion. Unfortunately, I'll go against what Lance says and think he's going to have his arse handed to him, because the WWE fans like the scruffy guy with the cock hanging out of his trousers.
Well, what I said was I just don't think Roman's going to win, a.k.a. Mr. Hi.
Yeah, do you know why he's going to win, Lance? Because he's lost the 2 matches.
Yeah.
That's what the WWE always do. They dangle the carrot. Oh, he's lost 2. He's going to lose the 3rd one. He always wins. It's
you
like,
just said dangle the carrot and
it's like every time that they have a non-title match, we know that the title holder is going to lose. It's predictable WWE. Do I want him win? No, I want Ambrose to keep the title until at least the end of the year, but knowing WWE, it's not going to happen. It's going to go back to Seth Rollins, unfortunately. The dirtbag, the scumbag, the bloke I have got no time for in wrestling. Sorry.
James, finally over to you. Your overall score and your picks for best and worst match or segment on just SmackDown Live.
Just SmackDown Live, okay. I will give it a 4 out of 5. I would say best match is the main event. I'm actually going to go differently, and I'll go worst match would be Xavier Woods and Bray Wyatt.
Now to the WWE Draft itself. I have some issues with the NXT selections. I've already voiced my extreme displeasure about Eva Marie, but look at the other picks. Carmella, Alexa Bliss, Nia Jax, I would speculate that WWE is calling them up to give some fresh new female talents out there a shot. I have no issues whatsoever with American Alpha getting called up, along with Finn Balor for that matter. And with Mojo Rawley, I'll remain neutral for now when it comes to that.
Eva Marie is technically not an NXT pick. She's a main roster person.
Now to the rest of the draft. There were some selections that were expected to go the way I expected them to go. Prime example, the first two picks of the draft, Rollins to Raw and Ambrose to SmackDown. Cena going to SmackDown was no surprise to me, with him not on a full-time schedule anymore with WWE, so how the frick does Bork freaking Laser have a spot on Raw? Shout out to Mark Traha from Sports Entertainment Tonight, because on last week's show, he basically called it with the placements of the U.S. Championship and the Intercontinental Championship, now to see if it'll only hold up come Battleground. Overall, only 2 teams or stables were broken up. The Wyatt family with Bray Wyatt and Eric Rowan going to SmackDown, and Braun Greenback, Strowman going to Raw, and the club with AJ Styles going to SmackDown, and Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson going to Raw. Overall, I have to say, I'm extremely interested to see the new direction both shows are going to go now that the draft is in the books. Honestly, the only pick I got excited for in this draft was the selection of American Alpha. I'm a huge fan of these guys, and I can't wait to see what they do with them on the main roster. My overall score on the WWE Draft gets a 3.95 out of 5. Andy, what are your thoughts, and what would you score the WWE Draft?
Probably 3 out of 5. I found the whole thing boring, to be honest, the main Raw draft. The only thing I'm disappointed in, and this is something for you fans, if you don't know what I'm talking about, get on the network or get your old DVRs out. I really would have voted for the SmackDown table beyond the Raw brand, for the simple reason it's harder than the Raw table. When you see people on SmackDown being thrown on the table, 9 times out of every 10, it doesn't break and they just roll off it. So, being as all the hardcore people are on Raw, I think we should have an hardcore table, announcers table.
And very quickly, Andy, I want to get your thoughts with WWE announcing on Raw that the Cruiserweight division is back in WWE and it's exclusive to Monday Night Raw. What are your thoughts?
To me, bringing Cruiser division back is a good thing, but it's also another stab or a kick at the Wyatt's little vignette they had on Monday Night Raw a couple of weeks ago at TNA, the brand that WWE don't recognise.
Let's go to Lance next. Lance, what is your overall score and your thoughts on the draft?
3 out of 5. I have a few reasons. One, with Kalisto, they screwed up. He is basically a cruiserweight. He should be on the show with the cruiserweight division.
Correct.
2, no Bailey. What the hell? 3, okay, they are pretty much massively screwing over Braun Strowman for like Billy said, greener than goose shit. I get Vince's, I love me a bit, man, yeah. But, they basically, he is fucked.
Yep, it's hard to argue that one. Wouldn't you say, James? What's your overall score on the draft?
Overall score on the draft, I give it a 3.5 out of 5. As you know, everybody was going to get drafted to a show. I mean, the only person that didn't get drafted was Heath Slater. But everybody who is not injured or in a contract dispute or part-time, that's not Brock Lesnar, has been drafted to a show. I mean, you have to understand why. People like Eva Marie go get picked, or like the Big Show, Mark Henry, but because everybody had to get picked somewhere. This is the announced team for each show. Michael Cole's gonna be on Raw with Corey Graves and Byron Saxton. SmackDown.
JBL's off of Raw. Thank you.
Well, on SmackDown we will have Mario Ronaldo, JBL, and David Otunga.
No, that's going to be interesting to hear, because I'm
bullshit. Bullshit.
Well, you know what? I want to give them a chance, though, Lance, because of the fact that different people can have different set of chemistry with each team. Corey Graves, when he was doing heel NXT commentary with Rich Brennan, had a great chemistry with them. They could really feed off of each other, and as of late with him and Tom Phillips on NXT, it's been horrible. These guys have absolutely no chemistry, and something I've said many a times, your color guy is only as good as your play-by-play guy. Tom Phillips sucks as a play-by-play announcer, so I'm really interested to not only see how well Corey Graves can mesh with Michael Cole, but how well Mauro Ranallo can mesh with JBL and David Otunga.
The only problem with Corey, in my honest opinion, he's a failed wrestler due to injury. He has no talker, and that tattoo show he's got on the network just sucks ass. He's not a presenter. He's a crap presenter.
James, are there any changes to the NXT announce team?
No changes to the NXT announced team. They only announced the changes to Raw and SmackDown. I think the only reason why Lance said that was because King is not on any show.
I wonder if that's any indication that his contract might be up.
There's been no reports. King hasn't said anything about it. I'm trying to see if anything's been said, but nothing's been said about it.
No, they'll have Corey Graves on and the other bloke on for a couple of weeks, realise it's skinned down the toilet, and then go and Jerry King Lawler and say, Jerry, can you pull us out the shit? Because these don't work. They're not going to work. Trust me, WWE, before the first show, it's not going to work.
Well, like I said, when Corey Graves first started in NXT as an announcer back on NXT TakeOver last year, I never really gave him much credit, but because it was his first ever job as a commentator, but he really progressed as a heel announcer with, like I said, with Rich Brennan. And like I've said already, your color guy can only be as good as your play-by-play guy, and there's no chemistry whatsoever with Corey Graves and Tom Phillips. So I really want to give him a shot. I want to see how well he can mesh with Michael Cole on Monday Night Raw. And Byron, he's worked with Byron Saxton before, so they know how to work with he knows how to work with Byron Saxton. He's done it many a times on NXT, but I want to see how well he can mesh as a heel announcer live every week on Monday Night Raw with Michael Cole. So I want to give him the benefit of the doubt, and I want to give him a chance to actually show me something that he can do. I know what he can do on NXT. I've watched NXT for a long time now, so I really want to see how he can take what he's done in NXT and transition that to Monday Night Raw in a live setting. Well, anyway, guys, back to school bash Friday, August 12th at the City Park Rec Center in New Iberia, Louisiana, and Saturday, August 13th at the Amelia Recreational Center in Amelia, Louisiana. Scheduled to appear, the GCW Heavyweight Champion Gil Gracie, Christian Blake, Kid Chronic, Andrew Anderson, Stoneman, and the GCW Tag Team Champions Mustang and Psycho Mike, and the Cali Heat. I've been told to say the, or else I'll be targeted by the Cali Heat for some reason. For ticket information on the Friday show in New Iberia, call 337-392-1569. And for ticket information on the Saturday show in Amelia, call 985-631-2032. Also coming up on August 20th, I accidentally said 12th yesterday, but it's actually the 20th, Gulf Coast Wrestling presents the Mayor's Cup in memory of Mayor Tony Galata at the Copac Gym in Plaquemine, Louisiana, featuring special guest ECW legend, The Sandman. For ticket information, call 225-329-5816. So with that being said, guys and gals, what I want to know from you guys out there, the viewers and subscribers, your thoughts on SmackDown Live and the WWE Draft. I want to hear what you guys out there have to say. Be sure you put your comments in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Lance, what can fans expect to see when they come visit your channel over on youtube.com/LanceMossTV?
Well, album reviews, NASCAR discussion videos, Redneck Boy McCoon videos. I got a build in progress. Well, that goes up every Friday at around 12:30, and every Wednesday I go live on Lance Moss TV and Friends. I never know who's going to show up.
James is over on Twitch. James, what you got going on?
I'm on twitch.tv/fatboy504. I haven't been on Twitch streaming a lot, but if I do, I'll be on PS4. I'm mostly doing WWE 2K16. You can also find me on Twitter at fatboy504. You can find me on YouTube. I'll give Billy the link and he's put where it is.
It'll be in the description box below, guys and gals. Trust me, I'll have it in there. And plus, I'll try to put it up as a card here on this video, so you guys can check that out. And when he's not busy being an SOB on Hardcore Wrestling Radio, he's also a paranormal investigator with Stoke Haunted. Andy, where can they check you out?
Yeah, you can check me out at www.stokehaunted.com, and you can play the part of a ghost if you like, because a ghost actually on an investigation made me shut my mouth. How many people would like to be that ghost?
I'm going to keep my comments to myself because I'm going to be good on this video. WGS-TV is on social media, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You guys can ask me questions. Links will be provided in the description box below. And as always, guys and gals, I have a couple videos in the annotations at the end of this video for you guys to check out as well. And don't forget, Sports Entertainment Tonight is now Thursday, every Thursday right here on WGS-TV live at 9 p.m. Central Time. You know, we might go a little bit earlier than that for a little pre-show. You never can tell. But now it's every Thursday night with me, Nick Fuquay, and Mark Trahan live from AOC right here in Lafayette, Louisiana. So with that being said, guys and gals, for our comparable Lance Moss from Lance Moss TV, James the Big Easy, and the SOB Andy, I am your friendly neighborhood wrestle gamer, and I will see you at the next Warp Zone. Bye, guys!
Michelle merely smiled, then picked up the bottle, grabbing a pitcher that was next to her and dropping it in, dousing the flames. I knew I could count on you, Kenji.
One of the things I quickly want to mention about this match, first off, you can tell how green Braun Strowman was when he slipped catching Kofi Kingston for the power slam spot in the match. And secondly, I don't know who throws an